Hello, welcome back to another episode of Boys Gone Wild. I'm joined today by my co-host Andrew Cohen. Before we kick off, bit of admin. Live podcast, Woo. January 16th, Ooh. A bleak Monday in January. There's few sadder days in the British calendar than a Monday in Jan. That must be up there.
The anniversary of the 7/7 bombings.
That is an emotional one. Do you feel any melancholy on the 7/7 bombings?
I was about to say I don't know when the date is. Does it get? It's not like 9/11, is it? Really? No, I don't really think of it. No. I don't remember it being like, oh, this has happened. Remember when that happened?
I was doing Joseph's and his Technicolor Dreamcoat, and then we all went home.
So you've got a lot of happy memories of the day.
That was before my talent had shown itself, and I was very much put to the back. I used to tell this story all the time back.
Who were you?
I was Farmer 3.
Right, yeah.
And I felt with the early plays, I never got any big roles because of my lack of ability to sing, because it was all musicals.
Sure.
It was only when the singing stopped that the star came out.
Sure.
But live podcast.
Mine was the opposite, because I was I was Joseph in the Nativity.
Were you?
Yeah, there's a picture which we can put here of me and Bronte. It's like 1 second.
Well, you're not going to send it.
I will send it. I will. I'll remember to send it. But then when you're editing, tell me to send it. That I was Joseph in the Nativity in year 3 actually,
yeah.
And then for some reason that was the peak of my career in school, because then I never really got cast.
As soon as the singing started going out.
Well then, no, but I can sing, but they didn't let me.
Do you think maybe you weren't flavour of the month? Maybe.
I think it was mostly political. You've got to get. I'm not saying it's political correctness gone mad, but I think you've got to get the neurodivergence out there. That's why you got all these roles when it started kicking in.
Do you think it was because of a push for more dyslexic and dyspraxics?
Yeah, in our 95% white school, the race was. There wasn't much you could do about the race issue, but there was an issue with. I think. Yeah. There wasn't. Dyslexic was the only minority we really had, so it was. You've got to get them at the front.
Yeah, if you wanted to get a more diverse cast, you had to go to find any waiters in the Broadway Hayward Tea. That's the best place to go.
Yes.
That was a reference to an earlier story. That's not.
Yeah, which we've told a few times.
Yeah,
it's a good one.
But if you haven't heard about it sounds like I'm saying that all.
It sounds like a weird joke. Yeah.
Like about waiters and
a conceptual joke.
But yes, January 16th, live podcast. Ticket link will be in the bio. Be good to see you out there. The last one was very fun. How are you feeling for this one?
Yeah, we're all rocked and ready to roll.
Rock and ready to go. At the Bill Murray.
There'll be props.
And I think it'll be better than the first one. The first one was great, but now we know what the deal is, and it'll be great. How are you, Andrew?
Michael Bublé is an underrated performer.
Oh yeah, he's a very highly rated performer.
Not amongst most circles. Let's be honest. You'd think Michael
Name
Bublé.
A circle.
Michael Bublé. The internet. Michael Bublé is the butt of a joke. He's the kicking boy. There's always like, defrost Bublé because Christmas is back, right?
That sounds positive.
No, it's not. It sounds like he only works at Christmas, and the only things he's done of merit are Christmas songs.
Sure.
Which I'm here to say,
nay,
is not the truth.
Yeah.
In any way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
And Bublé is. You'd think he'd be. The majority of Bublé's demographic is
menopausal women.
Yeah. 40 to 70, I'd say. 40 to 70-year-old women. He hasn't, might not have that stank.
No.
He does.
He does.
Bublé's got the stank.
How much do you think the way that Boobs is treated is down to his name having boob in it?
I think it's the lay more than the boob, actually. Because it's a silly... he could be like Boober. No, boob is quite silly.
Boober, that's getting made fun of.
Oh no, Boober. Boob. It's Buble. It's like just be called Bubble and get on with it.
Michael Bubble is getting made fun of.
No, Michael Bublé is getting made fun of.
So's Bubble.
Yeah, I know, yeah. I'm right, see.
Try and put boob in a surname without it being...
Michael Boobton.
That's not making fun of that. Michael Boobton?
Well, because if it's the...
Christmas is here, Boobtons. If Boob's in there...
Buble.
Buble.
Buble, that's a bit better.
Buble.
Buble.
Michael Bublé.
Michael Bublé.
Michael Blueberry.
Michael Blueberry.
No.
Michael Boob.
Michael Blueberry's getting made fun of.
Michael Boobin. Michael Boobin.
Vladimir Boobin.
Yeah, well, I'm not sure what your point is.
Michael Boobin.
Michael Boobin, I think, could do well.
No.
Yes, I do. Michael Boobin. No, you hear names. You hear silly names.
Yeah.
I think it's the lay.
Michael Boobin.
Buble sounds
Well, who's in that
like
space?
a pudding or a drink. And I think that's where people think he's a laughing stock.
Yeah. Well, because he's doing like quite sincere music, which opens him up.
Well, that's the thing, because he
Yeah.
actually, it's not necessarily his originals.
No.
It's more
He
his...
didn't write Silent Night, did he?
No, well, there it is. He's far more than just a Christmas man. That's the problem. I've noticed his arrangements of jazz standards are unbelievable. They're very good. He has like a whole album.
Is he arranging them?
Well, no, but he'll have a say in it.
Really?
Yeah, it's his own thing. Yeah,
I don't know
he'll
how
want
that
like a
works.
big band feel.
So
What do you mean arranging? As in like, but it's just like the amount of instruments you have and how it's played.
So he gets to choose that. I just don't.
But he's the artist.
I think if you peek around the curtain, I just don't know how much. Is it just like you got the golden voice?
Yeah.
Let me arrange it.
Can you edit this out so I look smart?
Yeah. Go on.
So if we
I'm going to put this in slow motion.
Yeah, we'll make it really long. Edit this out so I look
Put this in slow motion.
really good. Don't put it in slow motion. No, you can't do that.
I'm going to make this 15 minutes of you staring.
No, you have to edit it out so I look great.
It's freeze frame now for 25 minutes.
Yeah. Oh, crikey, he's done a lot more than I thought.
I've got a buffering symbol above your head.
Yeah. Oh, he's done way more. Yeah. So in his
discography,
in his debut album, Michael Bublé. That was a real show, wasn't it? In his debut album, as everyone knows, Michael Bublé. He's taking on jazz standards, but he's bringing a big band energy, and I love a big band energy.
wait, so you think there's a bit of innovation within Buble?
No, oh, that's bold.
Okay.
Not innovation, but his voice is like honey. We've got to admit.
But you know, he's in that.
And
no one's saying his voice is like gravel, are they?
I know.
Yeah,
just a small part of the general point I'm making. I'm saying Bublé's a kicking boy for the internet, and I think we should all lay off him. Okay, he's got a voice like honey, and he brings a certain showbiz and pizzazz to some jazz classics. That's maybe lost. I think we live in a dark time, and it's good to have a bit of Bublé light. Yeah. But I would think of when I used to think of Bublé, and I often did, I would think of like his original songs. I think there was one called Home, and those are the really emotional ones. I thought Bublé was just emotional originals and Christmas songs. Yeah. Turns out he's far more than that.
What else has he got going on?
The jazz standards are back at
so he does jazz albums that are originals?
No.
But they're arranged?
No, jazz standards means like they've been covered a billion times. They're standards. Yeah. So you go to a jazz club and you'll hear the standards. Everyone does it. So it's not like non-artistic to do jazz standards.
Would you say it's unfair to call him a poor man's Richard Hadfield, or is that?
Yes, I would. I'd think it's a very unfair thing to say. If you're comparing Calabro, the finalists and winners of Britain's Got Talent 2015, compared to the Boobs.
I think they might be the only opera quintet to win a talent show ever.
Were they a quintet?
They were a quintet. So I don't know what Bublé's.
Well, it depends if we were comparing achievements or quality of song.
I'm saying both, and I think Calabro would take both.
So which song?
Especially Richard Hadfield, who broke up. So we went to school with one of the members of Calabro.
I think they all know that by now.
I don't think they do. Well, some people maybe they've joined the pod late, and you know. You've got to keep everyone up to speed.
That is apparently one of the key facts of this podcast.
Is that our claim to fame is that we went to school with Richard Hadfield.
Like someone that's 4 years below him, never spoke to him once.
But what was good about Richard Hadfield was that he was very much the Robbie Williams of the group.
Which group? Calabro?
Yeah,
right.
Calabro.
I thought you were pretending that I was in our school group.
The opera quintet. he broke away afterwards, and it's never been said what happened. But he was very much. It was all like Zayn Malik. He was definitely the first to go and started his own solo career as a jazz singer. Well, I think he just does like jazz bars around London.
Yeah, and you're comparing him to Boobs.
Yeah, well, I don't know. He's never won British.
He's not really a jazz singer. He's a show tune singer. Collabro did not do jazz. They did.
I think Hadfield does
tunes.
the range. I think he does the whole shebang.
I don't think he does. I've seen Hadfield
What's a show tune?
Many.
Exactly.
How is that a point? That would work if I was Richard Hadfield, but I'm not.
No, I'm just saying, like, define a show tune
from a musical.
Yeah, he does both. He does the shooby-doo stuff as well.
The scatting.
Yeah, he's a scat man.
No, I don't believe it. I've never heard any jazz come out.
Do you think scat guys are cool?
Yeah.
Boom, 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 boom.
No, unfortunately they could be, but they're not. I scat the majority of my
free time.
Brain farts is like I don't. If I will go around boop diddy booping.
Yeah.
A lot of it, because if it, you can come out with like, I don't know, a strange voice or something that keeps you amused for a lot of the time.
Yes.
But mine are always musical, boop diddy boops and such.
I don't see that much.
No, because I hide it from you.
Is this for more your personal life?
It's something that's very dear to me and I want to keep it. I want to keep it quite individual in that.
So what would it look like?
It's kind of scatting.
You're walking along.
I'm walking along, having a day.
But you're showing off. It's not a solo thing, is it?
Oh, I'm not showing off because they're not good. It is a solo thing.
So is it not a way to pester your girl?
Boobity ba ba bow, ba doobity boop ba.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah.
Bibbity ba bow bow, ba doobity ba ba bow.
What I like about scat guys,
scoomity quack quack,
is that they're like, there's some cool in there.
Because I agree.
That's what makes something the lamest, isn't it? Is having a bit of cool in there.
I think I agree.
It's like being a rock and roll dude.
Yeah.
There's cool in there.
Well, because it used to be. Yeah. I think a lot of it is people holding on to something that was cool back in the day, but not quite knowing how to market it in the modern world. The problem is because I think 95% of scat men wear fedoras.
It's true.
If they kind of upgraded their...
The other 5% are wearing trilbies as well.
Correct, yeah. Yeah. I don't know why they're so obsessed with covering their heads. And just do it in a slightly better hat.
There's flat caps in there as well. They're like a...
Is there?
I think there's definitely some Scooby-Doo-Doos who wear...
Yeah.
I think a flat... What do you think is the relationship between older, slightly conservative black men and the flat cap? Have you noticed that?
Slightly conservative men?
Yeah. It's often people with conservative values.
I don't know. Is it trying to... Just the obvious kind of signifier for being of a right-wing persuasion? Maybe.
I don't know what it is, but it's interesting because there's a love of it. There's a lot. The flat cap is a weird hat, I feel, because it kind of means so many different things. Because to me, the origin of the flat cap, I feel, is like British farmers in my head.
Yeah,
it's like someone who's wheeling down a barrel of eggs to the local market to go to Bristol.
But then that's changed because it's also countryside rich, and it was almost And you see people wearing barber jackets and flat caps and wellies.
No, there's been a huge development of the flat cap. I feel it started.
But there's also been a huge development of like the barber. Do you remember the barber jacket was in? And it was like countryside rich folk coming into the city wearing...
Countryside rich folk core.
Yes, countryside rich folk core. Well, it's still there. There's a guy on TikTok who does that.
Yeah.
It's that thing.
But I don't think that's not trendy. That's just authentically living out that...
But when barber jackets were in for a bit.
Barber jackets were...
Barber jackets in the house.
Worst jungle artist ever.
Yeah. Get on the big thing. Barber jackets.
Barber jackets. I want everyone to throw their barber jackets in the air.
Barber jackets in the air. Barber. Jackets.
Garage in a barn.
Yeah. They could call it the barn dance. You were saying?
No, the barber came into the mainstream because people who weren't from that persuasion were wearing it. But now it's gone back to where it came from. So then it's become just the classic item that it is. It's no longer trendy.
It was flirted with. And then pushed back to where it belongs.
Yeah, where it belongs, which is for rich country folk.
Because it's like a shooting jacket.
Yeah.
There's loads of pockets in there to keep your bullets.
Something I do respect about rich conservatives in this country is they do have a consistency of dress. Do you know what I mean? There's a unity and cohesion.
Right.
As a block, they all go for walks and they all wear the wax and barber jackets and the hunter wellies.
They all have the same dog.
They all because it's not one of these
a border collie.
It's not one of these qua poodles you see in the city. It's always a rough and ready dog that jumps out of the Range Rover.
Yeah. Fairly rough and ready.
Well, it's like Cocker Spaniels.
Yeah,
and stuff.
Cocker Spaniels, like a border collie.
Something that can...
Not too big, not too small in between.
Some type of retriever, because they...
Well, gun dogs.
Yeah, exactly.
Because they go and kill dogs.
And they always have a nice but muddy car.
That's true, because they're rough and ready. You know? They're not city folk who don't know what the joy of plodding about in the mud is.
No, exactly.
They know the joys of plodding about in the mud.
Yeah,
I've been plodding about in mud for a while.
Have you not?
No, have you?
The last time I plodded about in mud was when I went down for bonfire night.
Right.
But when you went home to see your mum...
No, we didn't go on a dog walk, no.
Do you yearn after the trees and the countryside of Sussex much?
No.
Does your soul not yearn for
the
South Downs?
It yearns for
Is that where you want your ashes spread, on the South Downs?
Well, obviously. I told you that in private as well. I guess it's good to get out in public.
I want mine fired at the top of the Brighton wheel into the sea.
The Brighton wheel?
You know, the
Ferris wheel?
The Brighton Eye, what is it called?
Oh, the Brighton Eye. That's not a wheel. That's the whole thing. It's a cock ring going up and down a dick.
Was there not a Ferris wheel?
No.
I think they made two, because they made.
They're not in the same.
There was a string of the worst.
There's probably a Ferris wheel.
There was a string of the worst architectural deals of all time in Brighton.
There's a Ferris wheel on the pier, but I don't set foot on the pier because I'm in an argument with one of the workers.
No, the Brighton wheel. It's not on the pier. Look, you know this. The worst wheel of all time.
We need to know before you go.
Don't go.
Don't go. You can't see anything.
Brighton is a great. Brighton is a great city. It is one of the worst cities.
And not to be viewed from above. No, there's nothing. It's a very small city.
Two of the weirdest, because there's the Brighton Eye, which is that like stabbing thing. I don't know.
The Brighton Eye is a disgrace.
And the Brighton Wheel, because Brighton is a very flat city.
Yeah.
And it's like, it looks best if you're going through the
lanes.
lanes.
All the joys are in the small parts.
The shops and the little things like that. But there's no skyline. And the other side is just the sea.
Well, that's what they say. They say when it's a particularly clear day, you can see France. It's like, okay, I can do that on Google Maps. It's a bloody point.
Maybe that's why the British Brighton Wheel. Maybe that's what they wanted. Anyway, so the history of the flat cat. I just think I haven't worked out these thoughts fully, but there's something going on with the man's relationship with the flat cat, because I can't quite see why a lot of people are wearing it. I get farmers, I get rich folk. I'm just about getting conservative black folk, sort of. Older black gentlemen. The interesting one.
But you get countryside posh people as well.
No, I said that. I said farmers, countryside, rich folk.
Right, yeah. But it'd be younger as well, because they all wear them.
What's interesting is it's the choice of the legendary Hollywood celebrity now.
What?
Brad Pitt, Leonardo DiCaprio.
Samuel Jackson's been wearing them for a while, backwards.
But he kind of goes more into the older gentleman.
But he wears it backwards.
So that he's not as conservative.
If you're telling me that's older gentleman, how many old white blokes have you seen wearing a backwards flat cap?
He's an older black man, but because he has progressive politics, he switched.
So do you think the Hollywood people who wear... Who did you say?
Brad Pitt, Leonardo DiCaprio. It is...
Does Leo do it?
I read an article.
You don't need to get it up. You don't need to get it up. It's just waste time.
I read an article about why do these men... I didn't actually...
Because then you'd know the answer.
Yeah, exactly. I realised that immediately. I read a headline. But look out for it. There's a phase often when they're sort of promoting films, or when you catch them out and about, they'll be wearing a flat cap. I don't know what's going on.
Is it just coming back into style, and in some ways, particularly for the older gentlemen? For the older gentlemen, when I get to 60 years old, I'm going to stop wearing any kind of casual wear, and I'm just going to wear suits out. A 60-year-old out and about on their shopping wearing a suit is sick. They look
What kind of suits?
The business. The business. I'm talking...
You're going to become like a dandy?
Triple-breasted, fire, like flame shoes, a cane for
flame shoes? Where did the flame shoes come from?
Fire, like good, cool shoes.
Oh, I thought you meant shoes with like Guy Fieri flames on them.
No, #flame emoji. Not actual flames. And then maybe a cane for good measure.
A cane with a little knife in it.
Yeah, just in case.
Just in case.
I've definitely accumulated some enemies by the time I'm 60. So
I think I'd have a top hat, but it's tilted.
The thing
to
is,
the side.
I'm being serious.
I'm being serious too.
Here we
I'd
go.
have a top hat,
right,
tilted to the side, and then I'd walk like this. You know, with like a kind
so
of
you're like you're in Gangs of New York.
I'd have this sort of like,
this
sort of swagger to me.
The pop and step. Right. No, I believe quite sincerely in wearing a suit when you're above 60, going out and about.
I see myself as being a Larry
and the flat
David.
cap's kind of part of that, because I think there's.
What, you're wearing a triple breasted suit with a flat cap?
It could happen. It wouldn't be my immediate choice, but I think why people wear flat caps when they get a bit older is because fashion becomes a lot more difficult, because you can't really stay on trend as much, and that's a problem for everyone aging. Even at 25, I'm seeing some things and I'm like, I can't do that.
What did you see?
Well, like my Halloween outfit. That's in.
Yeah.
That's what the people are wearing. I got loads of compliments that night, but I felt like a clown. So as you get older, you don't really. You'd feel like an idiot by trying to keep up with young trends, because you'd be viewed on as someone who's like trying to hold on to their youth, living a lie. So you've got to get older with style, and a flat cap is an easy way to go. I'm stylish, but I know I'm old.
Yeah, I reckon I know that I dressed quite old, and then I purposely started dressing young because I realised it was holding me back. How if I dress old, I look old as shit.
Yeah.
So I needed to dress.
Well, that fleece that you're wearing at the moment makes you look about 40,
Which one?
50.
No, that's in the house, and that is.
It's not just in the house.
It is just in the house. You mean the quarters in?
The quarters in. That makes you look old.
But that's
an old man.
That's because that is the beginning of my pivot back into what I belong, which is old wear.
Yeah.
This is
old wear.
Dressing like a special needs.
Well, you're
child
kind of
from the
half and
90s.
half.
No, this is 90s dyslexic kind of vibe.
It is, but it's because it's the shirt under the jumper combo. That's very geography teacher.
Yeah, well, because I'm fading it out.
Right. So we don't all get started.
Exactly. Because and I'm doing this for now, but it's never what I'm most comfortable in. The sort of bouncy, like, hey kids,
right?
You know,
daddy's here.
Daddy's here.
Not that kind
I'm
of
looking
daddy.
forward stylish. I think I'll really hit my own when I'm like late 30s onwards. That's when I'm really going to hit my stride.
You shouldn't wish your life away.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe try and seize the moment. I think you should embrace the old man style now and just rock it.
Well, my old
You're not
guy,
fooling anyone.
My old man style, I think, icon would be Larry David. That's sort of, for me, the epitome of old man style.
Yeah.
Casual wear, comfortable,
right.
simple. And I saw him talk about his style, and he said that he always wears like one expensive, no brands, no logos, piece of item, and the rest is kind of like quite...
Now...
So that's like...
That seems like a very weak aspiration.
A weak aspiration?
I don't think Larry David's got style.
You don't think Larry David's got style? You're full of... Are we going to have to go back to the comments?
And we are going to have to go back to the comments. Has he got style? He's like got old... Larry David, I think he's
considered a style icon.
Because he's so iconic himself. If anyone else wore that, no. He's not going to get... He'll be fine because he's an old man, but no one's talking about the style.
They're really good, simple clothes. I mean that genuinely. I'm not
are they good, simple clothes?
Yeah. They are.
No. Well, yeah, not for me. For me, when you're that age...
Who's an old stylish icon you have?
If you walk around the streets of Brighton for a bit, you'll see him. There isn't a particular person.
Oh, so you want to be an eccentric?
Yeah, 100%.
An eccentric?
An eccentric, yeah. As soon as I hit 60, I'm not wearing anything other than suit trousers at the minimum leaving the house. Pinstripes, you go for the full hog. Whenever you see like a 6-year-old man dressed to the nines just to do his shopping, you're like...
That's my G.
That's my guy.
That's my swagger thought.
But everyone thinks... That's the guy. He's got it together.
But do you think...
It's a class, and it also suggests the classiness of old age, rather than the kind of baggy V-necks, which suggests that you're giving up.
No, he hasn't given up.
The man in the pinstripe three-piece suit and a cane has not given up. Yeah. He's still out fucking shagging.
Fashion icon who I recently heard someone on a podcast talk about how they found her really sexy, and they have to admit that it was a very hot style, was Adam Sandler core.
Yeah, back when?
No. Just have you seen photos of him out and about?
Yeah, he looks.
It's not
good.
even recently. He and why it is. I can see it's sexy because it's like he's arguably the worst dressed man in Hollywood, but to do it so confidently, there's a sexiness there.
Yeah,
he's wearing like
he's quite baggy, isn't he?
Cheap material t-shirts, basketball shorts, and like Crocs, and just walking around.
But that's it. That's in style right now.
Yeah,
like I think he's kind of the conversation I think has happened because
his
style is now. No, he doesn't have a clue what's going on. He's just lucky that his style has accidentally got back into Vogue, or even just originally got in.
So let us know what you think about Larry David in the comments. But before that, Bookmark Boys.
Bookmark Boys.
So look, we've come a long way with Bookmark Boys. She sends me money every month. And this time she said she's taking a break from the podcast, so she doesn't even know if we're advertising it at the moment.
Great. So why are we doing it?
She's just it's a level of trust that we have.
Yeah.
But it's good, when your main sponsor is
not even listening,
getting sick,
taking a break from the podcast.
Yeah, as if it's
something that you can't.
It's an
habitually
emotionally
listen
abusive
to.
Relationship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a social media break.
Yeah. But
except it's a break from us.
Exactly. And we get paid so little to do this that it begs the question why we're still carrying on, because it's made no real material gains to either of us.
Bookmark Boys.
Bookmark Boys. Yeah. Great.
Yeah, we went bowling on the weekend.
Yeah, we
did.
We
didn't. It was a lie. It was on Monday.
On Monday.
And Horatio does this. It was with our old school friends, which is important. Because Horatio goes into this. Whenever he meets his old school friends, he immediately reverts back into his school state. It's hilarious how much he almost panics and goes straight back into his school state.
Yeah.
Particularly when there's any kind of competitive thing on the line.
Yeah.
Because it's Horatio does this thing whenever I've gone bowling for him, which used to be quite a lot at uni actually. Yeah. But so we'd all be there. We used to go for pre-drinks before we went out, and we'd have 2 games there. It was, it was fairly competitive. A lot of people wanted to win, but a lot of us still had the capacity to talk to each other in between bowls. And Horatio, who often wouldn't win, would be he'd bowl and then he'd stand with his arms crossed, just glaring at whoever's bowling, flicking his eyes between the screen and the bowler for the entire game. And you couldn't speak to him, and he'd do like literally 1-word answers and still do that. I saw you managed to actually. I think you made an active effort. You made an active effort.
But it's genuinely not like. It's not so much a competitiveness, because I don't care. I definitely don't want to lose. I don't want to be the worst person.
Yeah.
There.
You want to beat me though.
I love beating you, but it's also genuinely not the end of the world.
Yeah.
I don't mind not, because I really don't mind. I don't have insecurities tied to my bowling abilities. There's nothing on the line there.
Right.
But if I don't focus, then it starts really going off. I need a lot of focus.
What do you mean going off? You start doing badly, or
I start doing badly.
Yeah.
And I feel what I really struggle with bowling is
hitting the skills.
It's hitting the skills. But then it's a lot going on, and so I kind of had to stay focused.
It's quite a simple game.
I think it's I go hyper focus, and then everything else it's like like a flashbang.
So how can you?
When a flashbang goes off, it's like.
And that's you for 2 hours.
Yeah.
But then isn't...
And then, before I bowl, silence.
Right. Interesting. Because bowling, traditionally, is quite a simple game that children can play.
Exactly.
And it's also one...
I'm using
the ramp and the barriers. Hyper-focused. But you also... It's a game that is not an accident that it's a social game, because you bowl for not that much time. It's quite a simple game that you stand up and you throw it. Yeah. So when there's 6 of you on a lane and you've got 5 people bowling ahead of you, or 5 people bowling to wait for, which could take, something like 7 minutes, 10 minutes. Yeah. Describe to me what hyperfocus is in those moments when you're not doing anything.
Crunching numbers.
So you're just, is that, because you do stare at the scoreboard. So how long does it take you to work out the difference between the scores? Because I would hope it wasn't 10 minutes. What's going through your mind?
Because I also spend a lot of time looking at like the Premier League table, so
it's just for fun.
It's not just for fun. It's more, I do get lost. I love a table and I love numbers.
Good Lord.
And I do definitely.
You are reeking of autism.
Stinking out the gaff.
Really? It pongs.
This lad coming in here reeking of autism. I like graphs. I like
tables.
hyperfocusing.
It's like a flashbang goes off. I can't talk to people and complete a simple task.
But yes, no, but
because I suggested we join a bowling team.
Yeah.
Would you enjoy that? Because I'd fucking love to. I did. It was one of those things when I said I'd do, and I will do. I reckon 50. I'll join a bowling league.
What, in your pinstripe?
With my pals. No, that 10 years later. And
Will you stop bowling?
No, I'll still have 10 years of bowling left in me. So then I'll go. I will move to bowls. I know I will.
What's your sports progression? Do you mind breaking it down?
I would love to break it down. Oh no.
Can you do
goosebumps?
Do you give yourself the ick when you get goosebumps?
A little bit. A little bit. I'm very easily moved, it seems. But just by the strangest things, just like that. Yeah, the thing is I need to get...
Can you say like kind of clothes vibe alongside, or is that too complex?
That's too complex because it will muddy the waters. Okay. But at the moment, my sports progression is going badly from the start because I need to get involved in a team sport at the moment. Something. I need something. I'm choosing between... It would be mental, and I think I'd enjoy it and hate it, but my favourite sport to play is rugby. If I joined a rugby team, it would... The thing that's good for me is because I do want to join one, but I also might just want to join a hockey team because that probably makes sense. So I was better at hockey. Yeah. And there's
hockey
one
wasn't
right
your favourite
down.
because you were definitely your best sport was hockey.
Definitely, but I was decent at rugby.
Yeah.
I was decent. I wasn't that far off being the same in both.
Yeah. Just one team.
Just one team.
Yeah. Just in the seconds for rugby, weren't you?
And yeah. No, I didn't ever do the seconds because they all got too big.
Oh, really?
And it was like they really took it seriously.
Yeah.
And I like being the captain of the B team. That was my philosophy in sport. Don't be the worst in the A's, be the best in the Bs. It makes for such good weekends.
It's true.
Because you don't want to be like scared about fucking up and everything. Yeah. And them all take it so seriously.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, squeeze!
Yeah.
So I was captain of the B team.
That's why I did tag rugby with the 8-year-olds.
Not because you weren't legally allowed to play at all. But then, I got called up to the A's and fullback when I was under 16s, and it was a horrible season. And to be honest, once I half faked a hamstring injury because it just all got a bit too much. It just wasn't too much. No. It was way too much.
But anyway, you want to do that with strangers now?
Do that with strangers. Well, it's the culture of the rugby team that I don't think I'd like.
Yeah.
But I want to do it.
I don't like rugby as a breed. Even seeing Mike Tyndall on I'm Celeb, who was a sweet, like comforting bear-like presence, but I just feel he epitomised a type of meaty posh bloke that I don't think I'd have a lot to talk about with.
But that's the thing with a team. It's like you don't need loads to talk about. You kind of talk about the game. You talk about rugby. And you talk about
I know the team. But I'm just saying. Just socialising with them.
Yeah, but that's the thing. I don't, and it'll be quite fun to maybe have one night every now and again with the rugby boys. I'd enjoy it. Okay. I'd enjoy it.
Yeah.
But it's not that. Like, go for a beer after the game. You talk about the game.
Sure.
That sounds great to me. I think the hockey lads will be a bit like.
No, hockey lads are fucking neeks as well. But I feel what worst tasting memes could be rugby.
I think
hockey are lamer than rugby, but I think they have a more distinguished taste in memes.
I don't know.
I'd say rugby has the worst taste in memes.
The thing is, I don't regularly communicate in memes, so it might be all right. I'm not joining a rugby club for the memes. But I reckon, so I am gonna join something soon. The thing that's good about it being cold is it puts me off joining rugby because I remember the absolute pain of playing that in the cold. It's awful.
Yeah,
because it really hurts.
It's good for everyone.
So I'll do a team sport. I want to do 5-a-side or something.
Yes.
Like that seems to be the most legitimate way. But I should join the hockey team that's literally down the road.
You can maybe come do comedians.
Yeah, I know, but I'd want like a regular thing. I don't want to have to say like in.
Yeah,
it looks brutal. Shit. I can't be bothered. I want like a five-a-side team that we go on a journey together. I'm a big. It's like how I approach gaming.
Yeah.
I want to go on a journey, a realistic journey.
But then the problem is, what's good about this is that there's loads of Sundays that I can't make it.
No, but I want a midweek. I want this. Like this is our podcast time. I want that's our football time, and that's non-negotiable.
That's not negotiable.
And Tuesday night would be great.
Yeah,
that's my ideal five-a-side, 7 till 8. That's football.
I'd say though I love the Sunday game.
No, I'm not a Sunday.
I do because it's nice.
Midweek,
you always feel good afterwards. There's nothing better than playing five-a-side under the lights.
Five-a-side under the lights midweek.
Under the floodlights.
Fucking look forward to it during work. Get back home, have a shower, have some food.
Endorphins are highest when you play sport at night, I find. Do you agree?
Think so too,
Afterwards, there's Sunday.
Yeah.
There's also like, I reckon
when it's cold and you get a warm.
I wonder if I was going to have some like, if I could choose like a specific ASMR for like calming background noise, it would be being slightly far away from like five-a-side courts late at night.
Yeah.
So you hear the noises.
Right, yeah, okay.
You know that?
Yeah.
That gives... And then smashing into
the... Yeah, of course. But no, I want to do that. But
sure.
And we could have. So I think at the moment, ideally, I want
cricket ever?
No, never.
Never?
Well, no. I'd want like a big team sport and then maybe a five-a-side thing going, which I'd take one or the other. So maybe a five-a-side thing going. Snooker's going to be here for the rest of my life.
You think so?
Absolutely. Why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you?
You said the same about weed.
Did I? One of them's slightly more healthy.
Just saying.
Well, yeah, I'm not.
Make your mind. Which one is it?
Which one is it? Weed or snooker? You can either do one or the other. No, snooker's great because you can. It's like I like those bar kind of games. Even though snooker isn't like bowling.
You like a drink,
but yeah. That's true. So snooker forever. So if there's like a timeline, snooker forever, and then five-a-side up until I hit maybe five-a-side will stop when I have my first child.
So snooker as a bar,
snooker's just infinite.
You're gonna die on the snooker.
I'm gonna die, yeah, and I hope I do. Frankly, scatter my ashes in Mile End Snooker Club. Then I reckon. Five-a-side up until probably have your first kid, then you need to start growing the fuck up, and you can't be
first kiss.
When I kiss my first girl, that's when I realise it's time to get off the Astro. I'm a man now.
So that is potential. We don't know when
We don't know when that happened. It could be never. So I'd have to be playing five-a-side as an 80-year-old man because he's never kissed a girl.
So there's quite a few. So by the way, there's quite a few comedians games. There's 3 of them. There's the Sunday game in Shoreditch, which is like our generation. There's the most famous game, which is the Crystal Palace game, which happens on Tuesday at 2 p.m. with like Lee Mack, Russell Howard, Rob Beckett, and that's been going. They've made a million.
Well, that's a luxury game for more than that reason. It's like who can play five-a-side on Tuesday at 2 p.m.
That's why. It's part of a little big money move, and that's why we play on Sundays.
Yeah.
And then there's the real. There's one generation above, which is Clive Anderson, and David Baddiel.
No way.
I don't know when I think they play on like Wednesday nights, I think. But the idea of cutting up with Clive Anderson is
it's hilarious. It's brilliant.
Because Clive Anderson maybe hasn't had his first kiss yet. That's maybe why.
That's the problem. Any slightly elderly man you see playing five-a-side hasn't kissed a girl. And I feel for them. I really do feel for them.
That's why. Poor old Clive.
But so I'd want that. And then five-a-side stops around the first child, I reckon. Well, 30, around that, 35. But no, it could still go on if the legs have still got it. Now, I want to take up golf more regularly at minimum 30. Okay. I'd ideally be playing more golf now. And that will also stay for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
Bowling team, I'm going to hit at 50.
50?
Yeah, that's where I want a bowl. I might have to be 45 so I get a few good years in me. Because I think the back's going to start to go.
Maybe 45, not taking it so seriously, but fading in.
Yeah. The thing is, I would... then ideally, I'd be playing squash more regularly than I am as well.
Yeah. I played right by my house in Lewis.
You played squash with someone else?
I did.
Fuck you.
Because
I've been trying to get you to play squash.
By my house, 5-minute walk is the squash court. So when my sister's boyfriend comes...
Who'd you play with? Your sister's boyfriend? What's his name?
Will.
Oh, it's not Andrew anymore.
It was great, yeah.
The thing is, I want to have
sweat.
I want a squash partner. I want a squash partner like I have Andy's my snooker partner.
Would you want Andy to be your squash partner, or do you look for a different type of relationship?
No, I want you to be my squash partner. I want you to be my squash partner. I don't want my girlfriend to be my tennis partner. It's very clear.
Is she good at tennis?
Yeah.
How would you just back yourself to learn how to be good at tennis? Or
I'm pretty good at tennis.
Right? Okay,
yeah, I'm decent at tennis. So I want to play those as like a monthly thing.
Yeah.
Like do those once a month, and then more regularly do 5-a-side, and then one.
Club Penguin, is that more of a group thing?
Club Penguin is more. It's more the colleagues, like the lads from work, I think. So. Because it's fun because it's a bit less taxing on your body, so you can kind of, you can go.
Do you remember when you got banned from Club Penguin?
Of course I remember.
You walked into the middle and said, "Where them penguin bitches at?"
Biggest mistake of my life. Biggest mistake of my life.
We spent about 45 minutes. We spent ages creating this character.
We were 13, I think.
I think we were older.
I think we were like,
probably. Yeah. It was like, I think we were like 16, 17.
Yeah.
And we spent ages creating this character. We were laughing our heads off, having the time of our life. Finally, we'd got our little geezer suited and booted. You arrive in that starting place where everyone's there. And he goes, "Where them penguin beaches at?" Banned.
Banned immediately. We tried to do workarounds while like making new accounts.
And they wouldn't let.
They knew our IP address.
They knew our IP.
There was no coming back. It was actually, yeah.
Just that geezer who's dressed to the nines comes out. "Where them penguin bitches at?" Okay, I'm done. In jail forever.
Yeah, it was quite magical, but one of my biggest regrets actually. So yeah, Club Penguin more happens because it's less taxing on the body, and you can talk about you can talk about it with the boys at work the next day. It's taxing. Yeah, the arthritis.
It's a low impact sport.
Yeah. But then yeah, golf, ideally now, but it's not that accessible. And when I've got more money and more free time, hopefully. To women, yeah. I want to do that and then keep that going. And then bowling probably comes in at the time that I'm less able to play actual sports, like when the body starts giving in. And then once the body gives in from bowling, we go to bowls. And we end life on bowls and snooker and golf.
So when do you reckon? Was bowls just when your body tells you?
When it's like that's enough bowling.
Yeah,
you can feel it. I'll know a time.
Your ancestors.
There'll be one bowl. There'll be a bowl, and I'll go. That's enough. That's enough bowling now, and I'll stop.
Now.
I'll stop mid-game. What? Yeah, but I'll get a glove.
What were you doing? What were you doing?
I'll get a bowling glove, and if I join a team, I'll do it immediately. Because look, I've still got a little bit of a blister because I do a weird method, but it works.
Yeah. So are you stopping midway through a game?
Yeah. It's like that. I'll feel it.
Do you go straight to the bowl screen?
Straight to the bowl screen?
Wait, from bowling, would you go after?
Yes. Immediately. Apply. I'll have my membership ready because I'll know it's going to be about soon. Here I am with my whites ready and everything. So that's the sporting plan, which has started very badly, given that I'm not doing anything right now other than the snooker.
We're talking football, bloody World Cup. We haven't talked a lot about the World Cup. But because we try and avoid talking about football, but it's the World Cup. Everyone's into it. Have you been watching any of the round of 16 games?
Yes, I have been watching some of the round of 16 games. All right, so how about you? Have you been watching some of the round of 16 games?
I've been watching all of it, a lot of it.
I love it. Do you think there's a bit of an economy of who gives the biggest fuck about the World Cup with some boys? Because I feel that. It's like, you're enjoying the World Cup. Yeah, I'm loving it, mate. Yeah, I'm fucking loving it, mate. How many of the games have you watched? Most of them.
No, I tell you why I don't think it's an economy. I see the way people talk about it as self-deprecating. I don't see it as braggadocious.
Oh, I don't. Loving it, mate. Absolutely loving it. It's fucking fantastic.
Maybe.
Yeah,
because I see it more as being like it's like embarrassing that I've watched every game. I should have more of a life.
That might be with your comedian friends.
Maybe.
There's not that much self-awareness in the real world.
That's true. It's true. But yeah, England Senegal we watched standing up, which is the first time I've watched a game out in a pub standing up.
I think mine too. Maybe I have one more before that.
And it hurt as much as I thought it would.
Yeah, the bad thing, just to add insult to injury, is I went to the pub before and we came late and there was no seats, so I was standing up in the pub an hour before we went to the game.
Oh, God.
Then walked there and then waited for the game. So was standing up for the whole time.
And we played bloody well there. I backed the boys. What do you think we'll do against France?
I think we're going to win.
You think we're going to win?
Yeah.
There's a good chance we could win.
I think there's a great chance.
So when you feel it in the air...
Yeah. It's never about the tactics of the team. It's about what's in the air.
Genuinely.
100%.
And I can't read what's in the air because I keep getting it either way.
The thing that I'm reading...
Because we came fourth at the 2018 World Cup. We came third at the Nations League.
We came fourth. Doesn't come fourth.
Oh, okay.
We came fourth and
in more
conquered.
ways than once.
Yeah.
Came fourth at the World Cup. Came third in the Nations League. Came second at the Euros. It is...
You're analysing too many stats.
Do you think?
It's in the air.
I
think what's in the air is a draw that goes to extra time, and we eke out a second half of extra time winner.
Also, because they do have more talent, but they have worse tactics.
They've got no gumption.
They got no heart. They got no gumption.
No gumption.
And
this is on the day of the football, isn't it? Because you always look like a dickhead when you predict things when the podcast comes out after it happens.
Yeah, no, this is going to be a day before.
Good.
And I think I just don't see a country winning it twice is such a hard feat to do.
Yeah.
It feels like they're gonna fall at some point. So this does.
And why not fall to the mighty Lions?
The mighty Lions. And if we win this, then we're smashing up the gaff.
I think but that's when I predict danger. If we beat the French, I think we might go out in the semis.
Do you think?
Yeah, because it was like there might, even though there will be a sense in the team which they seem to be good at. We seem to be good at doing tournaments nowadays of a sense of it's next match. I think beating the French would be too big a kind of conquering, and then we will panic a bit. Not panic, but I think there will be an air of complacency because that's such a big game against maybe the best team in the world. If we beat them, belief starts to set in, and we always fuck it when we believe.
I also don't think Mbappe is going to play well against us.
No.
For some reason, it feels like he's played a lot of good games, and it's like...
Yeah.
There's going to be so much focus on keeping him quiet, and we're such a rigid team. I could see him having a bad...
That's the only problem, though, with...
My prediction, I'm going to say Mbappe is going to be kept quiet.
He's going to have a pooper.
Even if we lose, I think Mbappe's might be quite quiet.
But that can also be the focus the problem when you focus so much energy on one player with a
11 men
team.
on him? Just
11 man marking. Just literally in a circle around him, being like...
Even the goalie.
Even the keeper, yeah.
And everyone else is just passing.
They can pass it in the net. Yeah, that's the problem. Because they're a very good team other than just him.
Yeah.
Which wing does he play?
Right wing, I think.
So we got Shaw on him.
Oh no, it's left wing then, because Walker's
which is
Walker's who's fighting talk he said he's not going to roll out the red carpet for Kylian Mbappe.
Wowzers.
Which I like that. That's it.
It's like, whoa, okay, we're really going for him. We're really going to hit him hard.
There's something so funny about that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So what do you mean? Because he obviously taking the metaphor of what it means is like, I'm not going to be like, wow, you're really good at football.
Yeah.
On the pitch, which means giving him space.
I like it. It's something, because it's basically, I'm not going to get caught up with the celebrity and the thing.
Oh, we've heard that before.
He's going to get crunched. What I do is, I said, I am going to roll out the red carpet, but a mean red carpet.
But at the end of the red carpet.
I'm going to slide tackle the cunt. So he's going to be too busy taking photos, and then out of nowhere,
his
challenge.
instincts will kick in as a worldwide celebrity.
Other talking points of the World Cups thus far, Portugal leaving out Ronaldo. How did us feel?
I have recently changed, because I think I was a Ronaldo boy originally.
Yeah, we had a brief argument about it in London Bridge.
That's infuriating cough I've ever heard. Let me just clear my throat.
Yeah.
He's fucking his legacy a bit.
Yes.
Because of, obviously he's fucked it. Well, like United, the thing is, when it was, and who's the United manager again? I'm terrible with names.
Fucking hell, the United manager.
It's not Ralph Ragnick or something.
No, that was it. It is Erik ten Hag.
Erik ten Hag. So it seemed like, United in disarray. They're not doing very well. Ten Hag's come in. He might.
They're doing better than people think, actually.
Yeah, but not doing for United. For United with Ronaldo.
Yeah.
It was. When he did the Piers Morgan interview, what world are we living in?
Yeah.
When he did the Piers Morgan interview,
best friend Piers Morgan. Basically.
Yeah, it's obscene. But when he did the Piers Morgan interview, it was quite damning of the club. Naturally,
the club got down.
He is complete. It was a damned club. The thing is, now it's happened with Portugal. He's the problem.
happened with Juve as well. So that's Juve, United, and Portugal, and it does start when you come out and say this is a personal problem, this is a personal attack, this is a lack of respect. When the Portuguese man, and it's like, I guess I'm kind of torn because it's, it's hard to argue for the inclusion of Ronaldo when his replacement scores a hat trick.
It is, and
his replacement has already scored more knockout goals than Ronaldo has in his whole career in knockout games in one game. In 70 minutes, I think. And Portugal probably played the best knockout football they've ever played. Yeah. Certainly the best Portuguese. Because Portugal are quite a pragmatic underdog team and they're just playing them out the park. It was funny. They haven't even played that well throughout the whole tournament. They haven't. Yeah. And then Ronaldo goes out the team once and they absolutely...
What was it? 6-0?
6-1. 6-1. Which is,
it's not good.
It's not good.
It's not good. And I'm sad. And I think because I love Ronaldo. He was my he was when I was first getting properly into football. Yeah. When Dad, like the family, was a United supporter. Yeah. So he was like my first football shirt. Loved him. Yeah. Which is, I think, why I've been a bit biased in the Ronaldo Messi debate.
Well, I think the problem which I'm finding, this is why I'm torn, is it's like the Ronaldo Messi thing is such a iconic rivalry, and we'll look back on it, and I feel there's partly we need to sort of curate the end of the story of it, because it's a story that weirdly is kind of bigger than football and maybe bigger than the World Cup.
We're seeing it end now.
Yeah, and we want the emotional end.
The problem is, I've realised why I don't like talking about football is I'm so aware of us being two boys on a podcast. As soon as we do like a Messi Ronaldo debate, it makes me feel gross.
No, it's good.
But I know it's fine. It's an unnatural insecurity.
No.
But sorry, go on.
And I think there's all football fans want is to curate this perfect ending. Because I even got quite emotional seeing the Messi performances because you're not going to see it again.
Yeah.
And we all want to cry. Basically, we want something. What we want.
It's the only way a lot of men can.
We want Portugal to play Argentina,
but he'll be benched.
No, exactly. That's the problem. But the dream is Portugal and Argentina, they play.
Messi,
they get 3 goals each.
Yeah.
And then the penalties go on for ages. They take the last 2 penalties. Messi wins. And then they hold hands and they float up to heaven.
Yeah.
And together.
Yes. Yeah, no, absolutely.
And then we'd be crying like babies, and we're all
deservedly so.
I mean, did you see that photo of Messi and Ronaldo for the Louis Vuitton?
Yes, or playing chess.
People in some WhatsApp groups I was doing just sending it quite sincerely, just emotional about it. Like the stranglehold these two have.
Yeah.
You could go anywhere in the world and be like Ronaldo or Messi, and you could have a debate with
an impassioned debate with anyone.
The Dalai Lama, he's fucking got
Football brings people together. But I've had some changes of heart. I think I've realised.
But sadly, he does make the team worse.
Yeah.
But as a neutral...
But that's also,
I was excited about the Portugal game. And even when I saw them smashing them, as soon as Ronaldo's not on the team, I'm no interest.
Yeah, because I
want to watch him score. I want to see his story. But even Portugal doing well, I'm like, I'm not.
I mean, it's even just watching him play because it is the theatre of football.
Exactly, and you want to see what's the next thing.
But I think that's also the problem because it's almost for this fairy tale ending that might happen. But as I say, as we're saying, he probably will be benched even if they do make it that far. Yeah. But I think because now it's almost like Haaland or Mbappe, and Haaland's not really in the question for World Cup winning because it's
a shame.
Hasn't got the country behind him.
So it can't be.
Portugal and Argentina, you've got a chance of them, one of them winning.
Yeah.
And I think it'll be mental for neither of them to. It'll be a shame because I think that's why so much rides on it as well, because you want one of them to win the World Cup.
Yeah.
And whoever wins, it's almost like that's going to be an argument for the people who think that person's the best.
Exactly. Because that is the only thing they have against them is that they haven't won a World Cup.
But that's why you think Ronaldo should be slotting into the team perfectly and like really working towards the team. But then he just doesn't really have that mentality, which Messi does seem to have. Of like, because if you're if this World Cup, he should be going into it probably in the same way Messi is. In a way, if we win this, I will probably be known as the best football player ever.
Yeah,
because of that debate. Yeah. Therefore, I've got to make the team the best it can be to try and win. But he is still a bit of a prima donna. Seems to be a lot of a prima donna, which is a shame because he was my favourite footballer.
But I don't know because even the last group game he played, I mean, part of the reason he didn't start was because he reacted when he got subbed off early in the last group game. But he didn't score, and he had like one of the best games I've seen him for ages, where he was linking with the team and stuff. He does genuinely play for the team, but he's a 37-year-old man.
Yeah.
And he's competing with like a 22-year-old
But
striker.
I mean, the attitude around it, that seems to be the problem. Because I've seen pictures, it's like how he reacted when... I don't know when there was
the attitude definitely.
Penalties or something, or like he was complaining about a ref's choice or something when they scored, and it just seemed a bit off. Like it's complaining about something that's gone marginally wrong for him in the game, rather than celebrating the overall success of the team.
It's awkward. That's what's awkward about Ronaldo is it's like we all want. He's just not quite at the level, and it's like someone whose whole identity is based on being a champion.
Yeah.
Can he fade his career out at a lesser club? I mean, even this Saudi Arabian thing.
Yeah, that would be the biggest shame.
It would
for the end of a career.
It's probably best for him to retire, right?
Absolutely.
But then he can't retire leaving on this.
No.
Unless he wins the World Cup, or he gets to the final.
Come to Brighton. Come and play. Come to like a team. Come to a Premier League team who are doing well but need a star, and make them like a Champions League team. That's what I'd do.
No, I think you'd have to basically just go to a Champions League team. Maybe even go back to Sporting or something.
I think what makes the most sense career-wise in terms of the narrative is him going back to Sporting. Yeah, I thought that is like that's a nice.
We need to close the book
because we need to close the book
because it's just weird.
Messi going to PSG wasn't great.
No, it's not great. But then he's calling it back with the Argentina thing.
He is. Because
the Argentina's the emotional thing.
That will live unless they win it. Then it's for nothing.
If he gets to the final, though, he got the Copa America.
I know.
And he did something that moved me a lot. He did like a big team. And Messi, who's not like a charisma, he did this incredible team talk before it.
Yeah.
Thanking God, having faith.
That always gets you.
Yeah, it always gets me.
Praising the Lord.
There's something that I always... the South Americans love of God. God, sorry.
Are you trying to communicate a secret message?
Exactly. I always find very kind of endearing and sweet.
Yeah.
We're going to move over to the Patreon now. Thank you very much for listening, guys. We'll see you all next week. Live podcast. Buy tickets. Link below. A lot of people missed out last time because it sold out, so get them now. What else are you going to be doing in January?
Oh, I thought you were going to be.
No. It's a Monday in January. Not many people are going to be going out. There's not loads going on. It's a bit bleak. Come down to the Bill Murray. Let's have a good time.